Good morning, my brothers and sisters. All right, it is episode 9 of season 4. We're in Luke chapter 1, so we're starting the beginning of the Gospels, going through the beginning. We've had the announcement of the birth of somebody in Luke. That was John. Crazy. And now we're getting to the announcement of the birth of Jesus. So here we go. This is Luke chapter 1, verse 26. In the 6th month, the angel Gabriel, so the 6th month of what? This is pregnancy time, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't a year. We've had an identification of the year with King Herod in the past and located it in a timeline time. But this is pregnancy time. This is the time of the pregnancy of Zechariah's wife, Elizabeth. All right, so in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel, he's back on duty, was sent from God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And he came to her and said, "Greetings, O favored one. The Lord is with you." But she was greatly troubled at the saying, and tried to discern what sort of greeting this might be. And the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And behold, you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you shall call his name Jesus." All right, so we're in pregnancy time here. We've got Zechariah now 6 months, deaf and mute, not being able to speak because he doubted the angel. This and the same angel, this is Gabriel. We found that he is now in a different location. He's 80 miles north up in Nazareth. The last time he was in the temple with Zechariah in Jerusalem. And remember Gabriel, he's the one that stands in the presence of God. Again, he is sent to speak. Again, he is sent with good news. But Zechariah didn't believe the words of the angel. And that was betrayed by a question. And his question was, "How shall I know this?" So we have Mary at risk of doing the same thing. Now, she doesn't. But I'm just saying, the circumstances are very similar. Angel shows up. Questions are asked. And they can be asked kindly or they can be asked with an edge. And Mary does ask questions. Okay, here we go. So he comes to Nazareth. We find out, before we even find out Mary's name, we find out a whole bunch of things. We find out her sexual status. That is that she is a virgin. And absent her virginity, this discussion does not happen. We wouldn't be having this story without that as at least part of the story. I think her heart is more important than sex organs, but that's important part of the story. The virgin, because she keeps getting named. She's actually named a virgin, referred to as a virgin twice before she's even named as Mary. And we find out her status as far as being betrothed. So we find out that she's not yet known by a man, and she has not known a man in a sexual way. She has not consummated a marriage. Probably she's under her parents' roof. But we do find that she's been courted or arranged or promised to Joseph. And we find out something special about Joseph's line, which we're going to ignore mostly for today. And that is, he is of the house of David. And that's like saying his descendants were on the Mayflower. It's a big deal historically, and we'll talk about that probably tomorrow because it's mentioned again here. All right. So the importance of the virginity. Then we have the importance of this guy named Joseph because he is of the house of David. And then finally we get her name, and the virgin's name was Mary. So then we have Gabriel. He came to her and said, "Greetings, O favored one." So all good news, O favored one. So greetings, kind of a warm greeting. You're favored and the Lord is with you. What a great thing. And she is greatly troubled at the saying. So the trouble, she's disturbed at this angel. and she's trying to figure it out. She tries to discern what sort of greeting this might mean. So she's disturbed. She's deeply troubled. She's a little confused, deeply confused. I'm sure if an angel showed up, you'd be deeply confused too. And in verse 29, we find out her trying to discern. So we find her disturbed to discerning. And maybe a title for today is, what do you do with the disturbed? Now, we found out yesterday that Zechariah doubted with the disturb, but we have Mary here trying to figure it out, trying to discern. And that means to think, reason carefully, to consider the implications, so downstream kind of stuff, the now and the later, and sort of discussing it with yourself with some level of detail. And this is the interior life of the Christian. So the big question for Christianity is, when you get disturbed, what do you do? Do you doubt like Zechariah did? Do you respond in anger or cursing? What kind of words do you use? More importantly, what kind of thinking do you do? Do you act out? Do you take liberties with your sexual boundaries? That's a way you can respond to the disturb. With fear or lashing, mental, physical, sexual activity. So what do you do with the disturb? What happens when you get off your mark, when you get sort of knocked off center? Verse 30, then we find, don't be afraid, Mary, you have found favor with God. What a fantastic thing this would be to perform in front of the audience of one, which we all do, which is the Lord, and find favor. And then verse 31, oh my goodness, this is the most incredible reveal of all time. So we have so when someone gets pregnant, they usually it's a big deal. It's like, oh, we're pregnant. So there's an announcement of it, a special T-shirt or some tricky thing to say, or there's a way that is revealed to people that love the pregnant person. And then we have, so the pregnancy is revealed, and then we have the gender reveal, which is another big thing that is done. This is the greatest gender reveal of all time. And then finally, the first person on the planet to get to know who this person is going to be that saves the world, we get this revelation of the name of Jesus. So, a couple of teaching points. Number one, sexual status, the interior life and the exterior life. God cares about what you do with your zipper. Finding favor with God. Let's shoot for that. And I think the big one today for me was, what do you do with the disturb? All right. Thanks for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.